Hi, I'm Dr. John Demartini, and you can catch me this week on The Jesse T. Show. I guess you could say I'm an educator. I've been researching and teaching in the fields of human behavior for 48 years. And I pretty well, until this year, now I'm on Zoom more than anything, I traveled around the world speaking. I think I've spoken in 154 countries around the world, doing whatever I can to share whatever research will assist people in different walks of life. Anything to do with maximizing human awareness and potential and helping people live extraordinary and inspired lives is what I've been up to. And that is in many areas. It could be in education, it could be in corporate government. I've been blessed to interact with people in all walks. I started out as a learned disabled street kid, high school dropout. And I nearly died when I was 17 years old. And I was blessed to meet an amazing man at 17 that turned my life around. And that was the first time at age 17 I ever thought I could be intelligent. I was told in first grade I would never be able to read or write, never be able to communicate effectively. I actually had to go to a speech pathologist from age 1.5 to about 4. And I had a deformed arm and leg and had to walk with braces as a child. And so I was a street kid, literally panhandling kid on the street. And but this gentleman one night in 1 hour named Paul Bragg, who inspired me, turned my life around and started me on a journey to learn how to read. I didn't read till I was 18.
Wow.
So at age 18, when I found out I could read, I've never wanted to stop. And I've devoured, over 30,500 books now. And I'm constantly researching and trying to share with whoever will listen, which has been quite a few, discovered. And I try my best to be of service to people. So that's what I do. And I love it. I do it 7 days a week.
I love that whole context and narrative you shared. And it hits home with me very much so, because I'm a poor kid from Boston. I didn't actually panhandle, but I grew up without, things like heat in the winter, which wasn't fun, limited food. But thankfully I had some powerful people around me. And like you said, it's led me to a place of service to be able to show up for others and pour into other people, because I've taken in, like you, enough information where by default you start to be able to kind of give it back. And so How did this person that was so profound find you? How did you find him?
I nearly died of strychnine and cyanide poisoning when I was 17. And a lady found me. I was living in a tent at the time. And a lady found me and found out I was unconscious for 3.5 days. And she found me and tried to help me and took me to a health food store and bought me some decent food. And on the leaving of that health food store called Vim and Vigor on the North Shore of Oahu, out near Haleiwa, I saw a little flyer on the door of a yoga class. And somebody said, you need to take a yoga class to have mind over body because of what the strychnine does to you. And I, something intuitively said, go to this class. And on a midweek night, I decided to go. So I hitchhiked down to Waimea Bay area. And lo and behold, I walked into this little Sunset Recreation Hall where there's about 35 people sitting on a wooden floor on little towels and things. And there was this elderly gentleman who began to speak, and every word was gold. And I just thought, wow, he was speaking to me that night. And that was the first time that I thought that maybe I could overcome my learning problems and someday become intelligent.
Did you, in that evening, walk up to him after class was over, introduce yourself or connect, or was it kind of a process to get plugged into him?
Well, no, what happened was he at the end of his class, he said, every day at Fort DeRussy on the other side of the island, he has a class every morning. And he has a little class on health and well-being. And so what he does is he does some stretching, and then we went jogging with this guy, try to keep up with this guy. And then he'd do this class, and then he'd give us some fresh fruit, and that was it for the class. And so every morning for the next 3 weeks, I took advantage of that. I literally hitchhiked across the island at 5 something in the morning just to make sure to spend time with this guy, learn from him. And it was on the third week that he said he was leaving for California. And I thought, wow, this is the last time I'm going to get to see him. So I never had the courage to walk up to this guy until I saw that he was about to leave. And the last day after everybody left, I walked up to him and I said, sir, you said the other night at Sunset Recreation Hall that whatever we set our minds to would become our destiny. And I said to him, I had a dream that night that I wanted to become intelligent and someday be a teacher. And he said, well, that's exactly right, son. I said, well, sir, I don't know how to read. How am I going to be a teacher? And he looked at me with a smile and he says, that's not a problem, son. You have any other problems? And I said, no, sir. He said, I want you to say this one thing to yourself every single day and never miss a day for the rest of your life.